Hello and welcome to Pittsburgh City Council's Standing Committees meeting for Wednesday, April 24th, 2019. My name is Kim Clark Baskin and I'm your Deputy City Clerk. With us today, we have our sign language interpreter, Nick Miller. The following is a list of legislation up for preliminary approval from Pittsburgh City Council. This morning we have a pre-agenda, which is Bill number 1517. Resolution approving the appointment of 5 members of the East Liberty TRID Revitalization Authority Board of Directors, Council Districts 7, 8, and 9. Finance and Law Committee, Reverend Burgess is the chair. Bill number 1589. Resolution further amending and supplementing Resolution 855 of 2011, entitled Adopting and Approving the 2012 Capital Budget by transferring $5,000 to Brighton Heights Athletic Association, and this bill is sponsored by Councilwoman Darlene Harris. Bill number 1590. Resolution further amending Resolution 549 of 2012, entitled Providing for an Agreement or Use of an Existing Agreement and/or Contract or use of existing contracts for the purchase of materials, supplies, and equipment for City Council neighborhood needs programs and providing for the payment of the cost thereof by transferring $5,000 to the Brighton Heights Athletic Association. This bill is sponsored by Councilwoman Darlene Harris. Public Safety Services Committee, Mr. Lavelle is the chair. We have Bill number 1582. Resolution authorizing the mayor to enter into a grant agreement with the Office of the State Fire Commissioner to receive a fiscal year 2019 fire company and emergency medical services grant in an amount not to exceed $13,569, and further providing for an agreement for rescue training equipment for the Bureau of Fire. Public Works Committee, Mrs. Kell Smith is the chair. Bill number 1584. Resolution authorizing the mayor and the director of the Department of Public Works to execute relevant agreements and contracts to receive grant funding from the Pirates Charities Fields for Kids program to update Dine-In Field, aka Officer Eric Kelly Memorial Field, located in the 10th Ward of the City of Pittsburgh, and further providing for an agreement and contracts and expenditures not to exceed $10,000 for this stated purpose. Additionally, the city will provide matching funds in the form of an in-kind services valued at $10,000 offered by the City of Pittsburgh. Bill number 1585. Resolution authorizing the mayor and the director of the Department of Public Works to execute relevant agreements and contracts to receive a grant funding from the Pirates Charities Fields for Kids program to update Devlin Field, located in the 16th Ward of the City of Pittsburgh, and further providing for an agreement and contract not to exceed $10,000 for this stated purpose. Additionally, the city will provide matching funds not to exceed $10,000 in order to receive a said grant funds to be used for the same purpose. Additionally, the city will provide matching funds in the form of in-kind services valued at $10,000. Land Use and Economic Development Committee, Ms. Gross is the chair. We have a deferred paper, Bill number 1493. Ordinance amending the Pittsburgh Code, Title IV, Public Places and Property, Article 1, 416.01.d, Public Right-of-Way, Encroachments, Permit Required, Public Right-of-Way Encroachments, to allow one-step program ramps to be installed without City Council approval. Innovation, Performance, and Asset Management Committee, Ms. Strasburger is the chair. Bill number 1586. Resolution amending Resolution number 233 of 2019, which amended Resolution number 149 of 2015, which authorized the City of Pittsburgh to enter into an agreement with eDocs Technologies, LLC, for licensing services and maintenance and support services, to amend language in previous amendments as new projects, which increase the not-to-exceed amount by $79,760, and adding to existing scope of work and not adding services or signatories to the contract. Intergovernmental Affairs Committee, Mr. O'Connor is the chair. We have a deferred paper, Bill number 2018-0983. Resolution authorizing the mayor and the director of the Department of Finance to execute a quitclaim deed and any other necessary or appropriate documents, agreements, and instruments conveying as is all of the city's title, right, and interests, if any, in designated city-owned properties to the URA of Pittsburgh for consideration of $1 each. Bill number 1514, resolution adopting the plan revision to the City of Pittsburgh's official sewage facilities plan for the 21st and Smallman Mixed Commercial Development Project. The existing buildings will be or have been demolished, and new buildings will be a mixture of restaurant, retail, and office space. Parking will be provided via a 3-level parking deck over existing surface parking. The site is located on the north side of Smallman Street between 21st and 23rd in the 2nd Ward, City of Pittsburgh. Bill number 1583, resolution adopting plan revision to the City of Pittsburgh's official sewage facilities plan for 3 Crossings 2.0 Southeast at 2801 Railroad Street. That concludes the reading of the legislation today. Thank you and have a great day.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Pittsburgh City Council's pre-agenda item for today, Wednesday, April the 24th, 2019. We have 5 appointments today for consideration to the East Liberty Trid Revitalization Authority Board. And are we going to do Shade Tree Commission too, Madam Clerk, today?
No.
Okay, that's all right. So first, as is our tradition, they are going to have the bill read. So, Madam Clerk, may I please have the purpose of Bill 1517?
Bill 1517, resolution approving the appointment of 5 members of the East Liberty Trid Revitalization Authority Board of Directors.
Okay, Madam Clerk, thank you. So this morning with us, we have Rob Rubenstein, we have Margaret Lanier, Lance Chimka, did I say that correctly? And we may be joined by 2 other appointees to the board for interview this morning. But you have all been here before, except Lance. Have you been to the table before?
I think this is my first time at this table. Yes,
well, welcome.
Thank
yeah,
you.
it's a
an
good
honor.
Yeah, it is. I remember my first time at the table very well, actually. So thank you and welcome. Rob, you've done this before, I know, many times, but if you would please just begin by stating your name and your position. You'll tell the council a little bit about yourself, your involvement here, and then we'll go down the line, and as members arrive, we'll most likely take questions or comments.
Great. My name is Robert Rubenstein. I'm the Executive Director of the Urban Redevelopment Authority of Pittsburgh. The URA is one of 5 founding members of the East Liberty Transit Revitalization Investment District Redevelopment Authority, LTRIDRA. For short, is an acronym. LTRIDRA was, do you want me to talk a little bit about that?
Please.
Really? LTRIDRA was created and established in 2013 as the first and to date, I believe still the only operating TRID district in the state of Pennsylvania. And again, I've been involved with El Tridra since its establishment back in 2013.
Margaret, good morning. Welcome.
Good morning. My name is Margaret Lanier. I'm the Director of the Department of Finance. I also hold the title of City and School Treasurer for the City of Pittsburgh. I assumed this seat this past January when Paul Legger retired. I've been attending the previous meetings. I've been part of the committee. It's very interesting because I do live in the East End, and it's something that I hold the interest to, the development and everything going on in the East End district.
Okay, Margaret, thank you. Lance, good morning and welcome.
Good morning. Thank you for having me. Lance Chimka. I'm the Executive Director of the Redevelopment Authority of Allegheny County and the Economic Development Director for Allegheny County. We are one of the 5 founding members of the TRID, as Robert stated, and as such, have been involved since the beginning of the TRID district and the investments made with the increment generated therein. With Robert Hurley cycling out of Allegheny County and me taking his place in September. Also, our interim delegate in that period has retired, so I'm looking forward to stepping on to the board and continuing to guide the investments of the TRID. Got about 15 years experience in economic development, most of that locally here, city resident, kind of understands the dynamics of a changing neighborhood, and so hope to add some value to the board.
Great. That's wonderful. Thank you. I only have one question. I see that all terms are 5 years. Generally, we tend to stagger appointments. There's a reason or a purpose for all appointments being 5 years? Just curious.
Ask Kate.
Come up, Kate, if you would, please. And you can take a seat. You're welcome. And if you would please give your name and your position for the record, and let us know, Kate. Thanks.
Kate Renshaw, Senior Counsel for the Urban Redevelopment Authority. El Tridra is a municipal authority under the Municipal Authorities Act, and the initial terms in accordance with that act are staggered 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 years. But then after those initial terms, the 5-year term must sort of occur.
Yep.
And here, all terms have expired, so we have to be on the 5-year term.
Thank you. I appreciate it. That's all the questions that I have, and so if there's nothing further from our interviewees, I'll call a motion to adjourn the interview. Anything else? Thank you very much. We're adjourned.
Mr. President.
Thank you.
Have a nice day.
Good morning. Welcome to Pittsburgh City Council Standing Committee meeting of Wednesday, April 24th, 2019. Our first order of business is public comment. Members of the public who want to address City Council will be given 3 minutes. Please start off with your name and either address or neighborhood in which you reside. Public comment is actually supposed to be limited to members who actually, residents who actually live in the city. I also would like to remind you that everyone that rules of council state the comment is limited to matters of official action, official concern, or deliberation which may or may not be before council, which are or may be before council, actually, that may not. Profanity will not be permitted. Order will be maintained at all times. First speaker, please.
My name is Les Ludwig. I live at 6589 Rosemore Street in Squirrel Hill. I came in 1960. I went to sleep and I woke up. I'm 86 years young. And I'm still running around trying to accomplish what? Take a look for a moment. 49.5% in 1990 were not filing and not paying any taxes. Today, our dear president has turned around and added another $1,000 to exclude people from paying taxes, when the IRS says specifically in its own publication that it's dangerous, that it's destructive, and that we're going to pay for it? Huh? That's one comment. The second one, shouldn't an executive look at a broad picture of what is going on, of where the money is coming from, of where the money is hidden? It's hidden here, where people are not paying their taxes, anything. So what's going to happen? We end up with a serious problem of a two-level society, one in which we have those making above 25 or 26,000, and the balance, God help us, they're in the lower level. And are we doing anything to correct it? Are we doing anything to lift those people up? Are we collecting the taxes and rolling those taxes over so that the people who need the help actually get it? What the hell is government here for if we're not here to help? Now we got another problem. We had 5 people at a debate, 5 people who want to be the president of the United States. And guess what? How many of them mentioned money? How many of them have said, I know where the bread is and I can deliver? The only one was Elizabeth Warren at 2% from millionaires, billionaires. Nobody's going to do that. I wouldn't volunteer myself. We got to wake up, America. We're not using our heads. Thank you for your attention. Oh, by the way, whoops, I'm upside down. Who are we working for? Who are we really working for? What are they going to say 20 years from now when this child grows up in this crazy mixed up society? Thank you for your attention.
Thank you very much. Thank you for the pictures.
My name is Yvonne F. Brown, and I came to make sure I spoke right after Les did. I want to show you something, what happened. Okay? This is in the second month, 21st day of 2010. City Council came on. My husband wasn't too pleased, and he had to turn to say, I said, why would you do that? He said, oh, wait, Les was ahead of you. And he turned it at that time, 7:01, and I was speaking. They cut Les out, because Les had said about firing Rosenthal, even though in the paper they had said that Rosenthal should be fired. Okay, I'm showing you this, how this section is, because I want to read you something. You can look and laugh all you want, Mr. Lavelle. My name is Yvonne F. Brown. In July the 16th, 2000, that's 19 years ago, I wrote, let them sleep. The mayor and city council should conduct the city council meetings on Channel 17 in a manner that affords all citizens a reasonable opportunity to participate in the public comment time at each meeting. This is the law and written in the Code of Conduct, the Council of the City of Pittsburgh, in order for the public, I left my glasses, but the public can submit comments regarding to their concerns, problems, and possible solutions for all the people that live in. Okay, however, there are documented times that the public comment time has been stopped abruptly without notice. There are times because of alleged technical difficulties that the public has not been permitted to see or hear the citizen. You remember Miss Harris, you remember that 1 month? There was 3 weeks that it was not shown public comment. 3 weeks. Okay, so then, see, I don't have my glasses. I'm really messed up, but I'm trying to show you. 2002, 2000. This is 19, and you're still doing the same thing with your public comment. Up there, you're still doing the same thing. We can't find out. You know what I was really concerned about? You had the police talk about terroristic threats, a meeting in Lawrenceville. Councilman didn't know. I don't even think Mr. Gainey tried to tell me, wait a minute, no, he didn't know. Do you understand that there's a gap between the poor black people can find out about it? I'm upset because 19 years and you're still doing the same thing and nothing has happened to you. Nothing will, because you're all crooks.
I am very impressed that she kept those documents for 10 and 20 years. Very impressed. Next speaker, please.
Hi. Oops. Hi. Oh, I'm sorry. I don't have my coffee this morning. Thank you, everybody, for having me. Dave Brangan, Executive Director of Lawrenceville United. Yesterday, we had a great day of Planning Commission. I've been speaking about inclusionary zoning for a while. It was unanimously approved by Planning Commission yesterday. I want to thank Councilwoman Gross for her leadership on that, and just wanted to speak a little bit about LRTA. I know that got started in 2018, thinking about LRTA reform. I know there's a post agenda later today. I want to commend council for looking at that. It relates directly to inclusionary zoning because the recommendations for inclusionary zoning rely on that a by right tax abatement being available for the provision of affordable housing. It would also incentivize affordable housing in places where the inclusionary zoning iPod is not in place. So it essentially is a voluntary inclusionary zoning. So I want to just encourage council to continue the work. I'm glad that we have that post agenda today, and just remind council that while we're moving forward on inclusionary zoning, the LRTA component is an important piece of that we need to also deal with. So thank you.
Thank you. Good morning.
Good morning. My name is Celeste Scott. I'm the Housing Justice Organizer for Pittsburgh United, and I just wanted to echo Dave and being really happy to see Councilwoman Gross leading on doing the LRTA audit this afternoon, and we look forward to learning from it and discussing this with you with the sense of urgency and prioritization that this legislation needs and deserves. So I just wanted to come and say thank you for that, and that we are here to talk with you and discuss with you and hopefully get to the ordinance that will work citywide with the urgency that we need. Thank you.
Thank you.
Morning, Council. I'm back again today. Yesterday, I know you didn't catch everything I put on that board. It was so busy, you probably couldn't read everything. But what you should have saw yesterday was new language to emergency planning.
Could you start off with your name and location?
Yes, sir. My name is David Adams. I'm from the east side of town, East Hills, with the Conscience Group Corporation. Today I'm representing. Good morning, Council, and Mr. President, and Mr. Burgess, who's acting and hosting this meeting this morning. I want to introduce you to the Citizen Emergency Planning Agency. On your graphs yesterday, I gave you a handout with a design of citizen emergency system development. And on the graph, there's 4 levels. I showed you there's a state level, there is a county level, there is a local level, and we have introduced a brand new neighborhood level emergency planning. When I teach emergency planning, I don't just start with disasters and tornadoes and things like that. What constitutes an emergency to your constituents goes far deeper than natural and man-induced disasters. We're talking about how can you prepare and plan learn how to can, put food away, talk to your neighbors if you're worried about your middle school student getting his brains blown out when he comes home. That's an emergency to our citizens in our districts. Worried about our kids, grandmothers raising babies. The Citizen Emergency Planning Agency, its acronym is CEPA. The agency also has a Citizen Academy for emergency planning and disaster training. The difference in this system from anything else offered in the nation is that we are not focused in response at all, not one iota. We got enough churches, organizations back ready to hand out gift cards and pat you on the back while your house is falling off a hill. Emergency planning consists of understanding how government works, how our system works, building leadership, effective leadership, and being able to assist our local government in the services that they are not providing now because they haven't thought about it, and services that are traditional and customary are not being done by the Allegheny County Emergency Services. Every emergency plan we saw on local jurisdictions across Allegheny County are response plans, not emergency plans. When less than 2% of the citizens, and this is not just Allegheny County, this is across 7 counties in the entire southwestern Pennsylvania region. No one knows their local emergency plan, and worse, no one knows what to do in an evacuation procedure. This is pathetic. But when I also teach emergency planning, to start off, it's going to be showing them what you're supposed to know. My job is knowing your roles, duties, and responsibilities, and I hope, last time it was updated was 2010, I hope that you're up on your duties because your citizens are going to be trained now to know what you do and come and ask you for the help that is within your roles, duties, and responsibilities. This is bigger than anything the nation has ever put out. We're very proud of it. You should be very proud of it. The citizens made it. Thank you.
Next speaker, please. Next speaker, please. Start off with your name and the area that you live in, the area of the city that you live in.
My name is Rafiq Brookins, and I reside in the city of Pittsburgh. I'm here to talk about a major issue plaguing humanity, and this issue is humanity itself. We have elected officials who could care less about people. And what I mean by that is we live in a country right now that is dominated by an epidemic, very silent epidemic. This epidemic is obesity. 40% of this country is overweight. 40% of this country is obese, 70% is overweight. What this points to is our leaders in charge. They failed each and every one of us. They've allowed poisonous products to be sold to your children and to you, and you consume them. It's so bad that this food is now changing us genetically. We're changing the future generations of humanity for profits. This is what's known as genetically modified organisms, or recombinant bovine growth hormones pumped into cows to make them fatter, basically. But this stuff we eat, and they accumulate in our cells, and they cause us mass disease. The main disease is cancer. Every single person in this room is either infected and dying from cancer, 100% statistically proven, or they know someone very close to them who has died or is dying from cancer. This is 100%. This is how deadly this scourge is. This is not something we can just run away from and collect money. You guys sit here just like whoever's in charge of the FDA and whatever other organization that oversaw human health. They let us down. So we're coming to you, our city officials. I represent a large community. My name is Rafiq Brookins. I operate a major business here in the city of Pittsburgh. We've been around for 25 years. Jamil's Global Village, 6024 Penn Avenue. This is the name of our location. I represent a community of thousands and thousands of people. I am coming to you representing them, but I am coming to my representatives to demand that you end this is a mass human experiment that is playing out right before our very eyes, and everybody in this room is affected, and your children. This is causing genetic mutations. Do you understand what I'm saying here? How bad is this? Tobacco causes 7 million deaths every 365 days. Tobacco use is legal. This lets you know that this government, the FDA, whoever is in charge, they don't care about selling you a deadly product. They sell it to you all day long. Tobacco use is so bad, it's so deadly. By law, they have to put on the package that says, this product will kill you. This is how deadly this product, instead of removing it, abolishing it, they just put on the package, Newport and Camel. Just tell them, this product is going to kill you. I'm only saying this to say that all of these other products are killing us as well. Deodorants, lotions, this beef and stuff that we're eating. It's literally wiping us out. And until we end up in a hospital dying, we're not going to say anything about it, not me. This is why I'm here. Let's stop this today. Thank you.
Dr. Ronald N. Miller, Belsuver and West End, American Physical Society, the American Chemical Society, American Society for Microbiology, the Geological Society of America. This is Earth Week. God bless America. I'm Global Intelligence Society candidate for President 2020. The rules of council do not say, quote, we do not permit profanity. File a complaint with a solicitor, 412-255-2015. This is a false statement. I have made a mistake or two on the 16th of April and during my public comment. 10 and 11 April should be 9 and 10. When I make a mistake, when I err, please tell me. A concern of council is, on the surface of it, scientific information and providing that best scientific information to our people. Do any of you subscribe to science? You see, I think that's a mistake. I offered, and I continue to offer, as I did with Ms. Gross after the PWSA interview, a subscription to science. Robert Gallo discovered what we now call the HIV virus, and his research was first reported in Science in 1981, 20 May 1981. If you don't subscribe to Science, it's a very general but very high-level journal, you're going to miss a lot for the future. As I said, I did offer, Ms. Gross, I did offer you a subscription to Science, but you haven't responded favorably to that. I'd like to know why. What is the reason for that? Do you think your level of scientific sophistication and intelligence is so high that you can't benefit from that type of subscription? I don't understand this whatsoever. Interested in carbonates, but don't seem to understand at all what carbonates are. Carbon sequesters PB and Hg oxides, chlorides, and fluorides at what rate? You need to know that in order to be able to ask questions about what's going on with the water. My point of view is, as I've expressed for quite some time, for 5 years at least, is that the entire system needs to be replaced. The city doesn't want to face that, but we can't remove the lead, can't remove the mercury entirely. It's been unsuccessful everywhere. So what I'm stressing with all of you is the necessity, and with you, Mr. Krause, since you're interested in HIV and dealing with HIV, to read a journal which is at that level, which is the level of science. My offer stands with all of you.
Next speaker, please.
Hi, my name is Erin Jensen. I live in Lawrenceville. Since August, I've had the opportunity to work in Councilman O'Connor's office as an intern. I just wanted to take a moment to say thank you to him and to all of you for that opportunity. I did also want to call your attention to the second annual City of Pittsburgh Equity Report that was recently released. If you hadn't had a chance to look over it, I'd urge you all to read it. It did show that from 2017 to 2018, there was no change. The city did not become any more equitable for any of the residents. And that's something that's very concerning to me. I assume it's also concerning to you. It also gave us, our city, a score of 55 out of 100. I know in school, if I was to ever get a 55, that's something that would make me very anxious, physically ill, and I hope that you all feel similarly. As the budget season does approach, I hope that that is something you'll keep in mind as you choose, what programs and departments to give what funding, is to really view the city through an equity lens and try to create a city that's livable for all Pittsburgh residents. Thank you.
Thank you for your comments. I usually don't speak about public comment, but I will assure you that those of us who have read the report will do something about that real soon. And so now we ask for the roll call.
Mr. Coghill.
Here.
Ms. Gross.
Here.
Mrs. Harris.
Here.
President Kraus.
Here.
Mr. Lavelle. Mr. O'Connor.
Here.
Mrs. Kell Smith.
Here.
Reverend Burgess. 8 members present.
Thank you very much. That takes us to Finance Law Committee, of which I am the chair. We have 2 new papers. You read them both together, please.
Bill 1589, resolution further amending and supplementing resolution number 855, adopting and approving the 2012 capital budget by transferring $5,000 to the Brighton Heights Athletic Association. Bill 1590, resolution further amending resolution 549 by transferring $5,000 to the Brighton Heights Athletic Association.
Need a motion.
Motion to approve.
Need a second.
Second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposers, nay. Next takes us to the invoices. Invoices on the table. Need a motion for the invoices.
Motion to approve.
Need a second.
Second.
Second, conversation about the invoices. Seeing no conversation about the invoices, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposers, nay. We do have an interdepartmental transfer today. I need a motion for the interdepartmental transfers.
Motion to approve.
Need a second.
Second.
Any conversation about the transfer? Seeing no conversation about the transfer, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposers, nay. It takes us to the P cards. There's P cards on the table. I need a motion for the P cards.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Need a second. Thank you very much. Any conversation about the P cards? Seeing no conversation about the P cards, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposers, nay. All right, that takes us to Public Safety Services Committee, of which Mr. Lavelle is the chair. We have a new paper.
Bill 1582, resolution authorizing the mayor to enter into a grant agreement with the Office of State Fire Commissioner to receive a FY 2019 Fire Company and Emergency Medical Service Grant in the amount of $13,569, and further providing for an agreement for rescue training equipment for the Bureau of Fire.
Need a motion, Mr. Lavelle.
Motion to approve.
Need a second.
Second.
Any conversation? Mr. Lavelle?
This is a yearly grant that we actually get that will be used for rescue training equipment out of our Washington Boulevard training facility.
Any other conversation? Seeing no conversation, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposers, nay. That takes us to the next committee, which is the Public Works Committee. Ms. Kell Smith is the chair. We have a new paper.
Bill 1584, resolution authorizing the mayor and director of the Department of Public Works to execute relevant agreement and contracts to receive grant funding from the Pirates Charity Fields for Kids program to update Diana Field, AKA Officer Eric Kelly Memorial Field, located in the 10th Ward of the city, and further providing for an agreement, contracts, and expenditures not to exceed $10,000 for this stated purpose. Additionally, the city will provide matching funds in the form of in-kind services valued at $10,000 offered by the city.
Read the next one, too.
Bill 1585, resolution authorizing the mayor and director of the Department of Public Works to execute relevant agreements and contracts to receive grant fundings from the Pirates Charity Fields for Kids program to update Devlin Field located in the 16th Ward of the city, and further providing for an agreement, contracts, and expenditures not to exceed $10,000 for this stated purpose. Additionally, the city will provide matching funds not to exceed $10,000 in order to receive said grant funds to be used for the same purpose. The city will provide matching funds in the form of in-kind services valued at $10,000 offered by the city.
I need a motion, Ms. Smith.
Motion to approve.
Need a second. Conversation? It's pretty obvious.
I just really want to mention that I'm happy to see that Eric Kelly, Guy Kelly, the officer who was one of the 3 officers that were killed in Stanton Heights. I'm glad to see that he's being acknowledged through this field. But I also want to point out that, I mean, even though this is in the East End, he was born and raised in Ferrywood. And I'd also like to see something done in Ferrywood where his mother still resides as well.
Thank you very much. Any other conversation? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposers, nay. That takes us to the next committee, which is the land use.
May I motion to reconsider now in this committee, or should I wait till later? Point of order. Sorry.
Which bill we
I was going to reconsider 1538 with the chairwoman's consent on veterans banners to do provisional vote today. That would be, is this the appropriate time or should I wait till later?
You can do it. It was originally in this committee.
Right.
It can do it any time. So if you want to reconsider, I need a motion.
I'd like to make a motion to reconsider Bill 1538.
Need a second.
Second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposers, nay. The bill is now reconsidered and on the table.
Thank you very much. So it's just a simple amendment, switching the permitting to DOMI where it belongs. And with the chairwoman's consent, I'd just like to motion to approve today.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any conversation? Ms. Smith?
I want to thank Councilwoman Gross for moving this forward. And I just want to say that I think that we have been fighting and struggling with these veteran banners for some time now. I think I introduced the bill, it was probably about 5 years, 4 or 5 years ago.
We had a series of meetings.
And, you know, we put banners up across the city for the Penguins, for the Pirates, for our Steelers, for concerts, for, you know, anything that we're hosting in the city that is like some type of special events. And we come up with reasons on how we can do that and why we can do that. But I think that we've not made it a priority to actually honor the people that fought for our country and the people from our city of Pittsburgh. And these banners honor the veterans from the city of Pittsburgh who served in the military. And a lot of the families want to see this happen. They want to see these banners up, and I think that, you know, we are supposed to be doing what the constituents request of us, not us tell the constituents what, you know, what they want and what they need. And so I want to thank you for listening to the constituents and doing what you can to get these banners up. I really want to make it a priority for the city. So I think maybe a few of us can sit down and work on this citywide and come up with some way that we can do this citywide, because and I think the other thing is, I think people fail to see how much our military is changing over the years. You know, I think a lot of people think of the military as, you know, somebody sitting in the corner with a World War II hat on, which it is, and thank God that we've had them. But our military has changed. I think it's increased with women, minorities, and immigrants by 40%. And so if you don't start realizing that this, you know, represents all of us in some way down the line, we're failing to acknowledge the service of people that our residents, our children, and our community members have sacrificed for our country. I think that we're doing a disservice to the entire city. So I just want to make sure that we make this a priority. But thank you for your work on this.
Thank you for championing that, Councilwoman.
Any other conversation? Seeing no conversation, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposers, nay. That takes us now to the Land Use and Economic Development Committee, which Ms. Gross is the chair. We have a deferred paper.
Bill 1493, ordinance amending the Pittsburgh Code Title IV, Public Places and Property, Article 1, Public Right-of-Way Encroachments, Permit Required Public Right-of-Way Encroachments to allow one-step program ramps to be installed without council approval.
Need a motion?
Motion to approve a
Need
discussion.
a second?
Second.
Thank you. So we've held this a few times. I wanted to give council members a chance to get comfortable with it. I'm supportive because I know I've had so many businesses go through the program and they're looking to have it a little more streamlined and a little less bumpy, but I'm certainly open to questions. We have people from planning here if the council members kind of want to ask questions about how the procedure would happen.
2 seconds, maybe.
Ms. Cross?
Yeah, so thank you. I'm happy to support. Council always has the prerogative if something does go a little awry and we want to bring it back in for a rediscussion of some kind, we can always do that.
Right.
But I would agree, especially with a number of businesses in Oakland that we've had the conversation with, I think helping to expedite it is the prudent thing to do, and I'm happy to support.
Wonderful.
Any other conversations?
I just want to make sure that that is expedited. I don't want to see that, you know, a year from now, we're like, oh my God, we made this even longer, like we have with all the things we're claiming to have made so much faster and so much better. That really is not that much, including our land bank.
Any other conversation? Seeing no other conversation, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposers, nay. That takes us to Innovation, Performance, and Asset Management Committee. Ms. Strasburger is the chair. We have a new paper.
Bill 1586, resolution amending resolution number 233, which authorizes the city to enter into an agreement with EDOC Technologies LLC for licensing services and maintenance and support services to amend language in previous amendment as new projects, which increase the not-to-exceed amount of $79,760 are added to existing scope of work and not adding services or signatories to the contract.
Need a motion?
Motion to approve.
Need a second?
Second.
All right, conversation.
What contract is this?
I believe we have people here.
There are people here, if you want to bring them forward.
Mhm.
If you would come forward, please.
Yeah, please. Can't hurt. Good morning, welcome. Would you please just give us a brief synopsis of the bill before us?
First, tell us your name and your position.
Hi, my name is Narina Polanco. I'm the operation manager for finance. And the resolution is just changing language to a previous resolution approved for a project. EDOCS is our vendor currently that manages our own base system. So every time that we need to upload documents or make changes to our current document management system, the only vendor that we can complete that process with is EDOCS. And we have a current contract that is expiring in December. So we are adding additional work, so that was approved previously in a couple of weeks ago in the amendment, but the language on the amendment was incorrect because we cannot add additional signatures to a current contract. So we want to make sure that we correct that. We went through the law department and they give us the language that we need to make sure that we are abide to the amendment process for a contract.
So it's technical in nature.
Correct.
Great, thanks very much, appreciate it.
Anyone else? No one else? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye. Aye. Thank you
Opposers,
for
nay.
being here.
Thank you very much for coming. That takes us to the last committee of the day, which is Intergovernmental Affairs Committee. Mr. Connor is the chair. We have a deferred paper.
Bill 983, resolution authorizing the mayor and the director of the Department of Finance to execute a quick claim deed and any other necessary or appropriate documents, agreements, and instruments conveying as is all of the city's right, title, and interest, if any, in designated city-owned properties to the URA for consideration of $1 each, contingent upon the mayor and director of the Department of Finance first entering into a corporation agreement with the URA setting forth the rights and obligations of the city and the URA relating to these initial conveyances and further setting forth the rights and obligations of the city and the URA relating to the subsequent disposition of these properties to third parties.
Motion to hold 3 weeks.
Need a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposers, nay. Takes us to the next bill, please.
Resolution adopting the plan revision to the City of Pittsburgh official sewer facilities plan for the 21st and Smallman Mixed Commercial Development Project. The existing buildings will be or have been demolished, and new buildings will be a mixture of restaurants, retail, and office space. Parking will be provided via the third-level parking deck over existing surface parking. The site is located on the north side of Smallman Street between 21st and 23rd Street in the 2nd Ward.
Motion to hold 1 week.
Second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposers, nay. Next bill, please.
Bill 1583, resolution adopting plan revision to the City of Pittsburgh's official sewer facilities plan for 3 Crossings 2.0 Southeast at 2801 Railroad Street.
Motion to hold 1 week.
Second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposers, nay. That exhausts our agenda, motions,
Wow,
things that
good timing.
things that members want to say. If not, I'll be brief. I do want to say one thing. I want to publicly thank all the residents of Homewood who came out last night. I want to thank the mayor and public city planning for all their hard work. We unveiled the Homewood's comprehensive community plan. I want to remind residents that they have a 30-day comment period. Although the plan has been done, they can comment and still make changes to the plan. And the first fruits of that plan was announced last night, which is a commitment from the city to rebuild Homewood Avenue's business district into a mixed-use street, having apartments over storefronts. And at one point, Homewood Avenue was the 3rd largest business district in Pittsburgh. And so the idea of rebuilding that is exciting for me and exciting for the residents, and we're excited about the possibilities. So I want to thank everyone for took 12 years worth of work, which has culminated in last night. So
You had a huge crowd there, too.
yes,
Yeah,
it was
huge.
a great moment for the community of which I was born and raised, and so we're going to do great things there. So thank you for this moment, Ms. Smith.
I just want to congratulate you on all the work that you're doing over there, and I think that I get angry sometimes when I see all the great things that are happening, but I know that we're going to do some great things, and we are doing some great things in our area as well. But I really want to congratulate you because I know how hard you've championed some of that stuff. But I want to address the public comments. For a couple days, Ms. Brown has mentioned that she did not know about the citywide public safety meeting, and we have those a couple times a year, and I can't remember, it's twice.
Twice a year.
Twice a year.
Twice a year, and so I think, and they are shared on public. Like on the websites and on social media sites. But if you don't have access to a computer, maybe we should make sure that we're putting them in the libraries and downstairs in our lobby. I think that a lot of times people don't know what's going on because if they don't have a computer or access to the internet, they do miss those opportunities. And she's here all the time, so there should be no reason, that she was not informed of that, because we should have it somewhere in this building, I think, marked when we have, citywide meetings, citywide events, not just for the public safety, but just so she knows and other folks know that every zone has a public safety council, and twice a year, those councils all come together for a citywide meeting. And that information can be obtained on social media sites and on the websites, but I think now maybe we should make sure that we put it on TV and maybe and I think we should need someplace here in this building, and we should make sure the libraries have it. So I think if we do that kind of stuff, and I think that's not necessarily the responsibility of the clerk's office, but I think maybe we should talk to the public safety folks to make sure that we're sharing it in all those ways. And I know that they share them at every meeting they go to, and every event that they go to, they share those flyers and try to get the word out there. They try really hard to get the word out, but if there's another way that we could think about, maybe TV on our city channel, and some other things to make sure that we're letting people know about the citywide meetings at least, because they do have a lot of good information. And also I want to make sure that people know that I hear the conversations about public safety and us being ready for an emergency and all those sorts of things. And I want people to realize that they can also be trained in, we have a CERT program.
RB.
Yeah. What does the acronym stand for?
Certified Emergency Response Team.
Teams. So residents in the neighborhoods can be trained in how to respond to an emergency, flood, hurricane, anything, some kind of disaster, or any kind of emergency in the community, so that when something happens, our people in our own neighborhoods can get out and help their neighbors. So, and you can find that information out as well through the Public Safety Department. So I just want to make sure, because I hear the public comment, I want people to realize we are on top of things, we are doing things, we just need to make sure people are aware of it.
Other concerns? Nothing else for the good of our city? If not, let me see if there's any announcements. This afternoon at 2 o'clock, council will hold a cablecast post-agenda discussion on the LERTA audit. I need a motion to excuse the absent member, approve the minutes, and adjourn the meeting.
So moved.
Need a second?
Second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, there's nay. Around 11 o'clock, and we are done.